What's up, squash players? Today I have a review of some 305 Squash luggage. You may remember I did a review of the 305 Squash traditional head shape. I think it's the XR120 Pro Cell racket. And when I returned that to Chris, he said, hey, do you want to review the bag? It's pretty nice. I said, sure, of course I do. Well, I haven't used it myself, but I'm gonna give you the walkthrough and then return this to Chris so he can use it to go home and visit his family over Christmas. It's very sweet. Right, so the 305 Squash, again, if you haven't seen the prior video, they came from kind of a clothing design, apparel, graphic design background, and so they have come out with some rackets and luggage and more kind of player equipment, and sponsored some players, including Chris and Patrick Rooney and some other guys on the and women on the Pro Tour. So I'm gonna take you through this bag right now. It's pretty wide this way, which is interesting. It's probably gonna give you a fair amount of more storage than you're used to. Let me show you a different bag for comparison. So here is the Technifiber Squash backpack. This is a model from a few years ago, but it's a pretty sort of standard size for your old squash backpack. And here it is up against the 305. This is gonna be a rough demonstration since they're kind of bulky. But you can see the 305 bag is like several, let's see, it's about that much wider than the Technifiber bag. It's a bit of an unscientific measurement, but that extra space will be very convenient and allow you to take this to more, you know, like maybe tide you over for an entire day at a tournament, whereas that single backpack maybe is more like, you know, one change of clothes, one pair of shoes. That space can get pretty limited. This obviously is not as big as like a 12 backpack bag, but it's bigger than your standard backpack, let me tell you that. Okay, so what do we got here? You got your 305 Squash logo on the front, and we've got, this is from their Pro Cell range. That's the kind of sub-brand of everything. Play your game, it says on the straps here. Now this has got a kind of a wide arch here because it's so wide. They've done a good job making that kind of comfortable, fitting across your shoulders, as opposed to the more sort of traditional two separate straps method that's more common. So this is like, feels very easy on your shoulders, especially if you're holding a ton of weight in there. I haven't laden this down, but my guess based on the construction is that that's how it's gonna feel. So here's how you're gonna look as you wander around 305 Squash, play your game. And you know, it's got black and gray colorings on it. We've got, so your rackets go in the back here, like so. Sorry, I don't have a 305 Squash racket to put in there. You could fit, I want to guess, like, you could fit, you know, 3 rackets in here pretty easily. Let's try it all out. Don't worry that they're not 305 Squash rackets. Let's just see. I mean, that's 3 rackets. That's easy. You could probably squeeze 2 or 3 more in there if you were really trying to cram a bunch in for any reason. There is you kind of zip it up. There's no, there's nothing to secure them within that pocket, but they do have the old, this thing coming out. Actually, you could use this to secure, maybe. No, probably not. I think this is meant for one thing and one thing only, which is this little grip condom here. And you put this over your, at least one grip. If you got 1 or 2, it'll work, it looks like. So this is if you're wandering around out in the rain and you don't want your grips to get wet. See, because they stick out the top like that. So these would be somewhat protective. And let's see how tight we can make that. And then you would kind of zip it up pretty snugly to cover the rest of the hole. Next, we've got a small pocket up here on the front, which is big enough for eye guards. It's pretty substantial, so you could fit actually a fair amount more into this pocket. It's not quite big enough It's not quite as big as one shoe, but it's it nearly is. Just to give you an idea of the size. Definitely fits your goggles, or you could throw some balls in there or whatever else you got. If you're not a goggles fan, which I recommend you become. We've got a front pocket here. Now, I think this might be Chris's zipper pull here, and I don't know if that comes with the racket bag or not. I don't think so. I think it's Chris's special zipper pull. That might be a good squash product for me to make. Some squash zipper pulls. Because this looks like it's a tennis racket, but maybe there could be a squash specific one. Idea. Okay. Next we have the interior pocket. Oh, sorry, no, I was talking about the front pocket where the zipper pull was. So this opens to give you like some small storage space. It's got a pocket back here. Got some place for some pencils, pens, ID cards, notebooks. They're fairly wide. They're about that wide. One's about that wide, the other one's about that wide. And the other one's a smaller one as well. And you got some room up here. There's also a zipper inside the front lip here. There's a zipper pocket, so this is pretty good if you want to keep some cash or your wallet, and you want to keep it a couple steps removed from the outside world. You would put it in the inner pocket and then in the zipper pocket inside the inner pocket. So it's 2 zippers away, 2 zippers of security, highly secure. Speaking of the zippers, while I'm thinking of it, these are what they look like. This is the quality of them. They feel pretty good. They're not kind of the cheapest sort of little metal zipper. They got a little bit of heft to them, and they feel pretty sturdy, nicely designed. We've got a bottom pocket here. This is for your wet clothing or perhaps your shoes after you play. You want to keep them down here and there's a little vent, you see, to let them air out a bit. Let's see if a pair of shoes can fit in. Here we go. Yes, easily. These shoes fit in quite easily. Can 2 pairs of shoes fit in? Let's find out. This is an important investigation. Yes, it took a little doing, and it took up a lot more of the inside space of the bag, but I was just able to put 2 pairs of shoes in there. One of them is kind of like 3.5, let's say, side, 3.5 shoe width, depending on how big your feet are. Mine are pretty big. Oh look, I just got them to sit down. Never mind, it's 4 shoes wide. It's pretty good. You fit a lot of your wet stuff in there, or your shoes, or both. Here's the main interior pocket. This is the extension of the shoe pocket. So whatever you use that for will take up interior space in the main compartment. So it's a trade-off. But in here it's just a large open compartment plus it's just separated by this large divider, so you could put stuff in here all the way down, and like a laptop would fit nicely in here, and it's got a secure Velcro thingy here, so you can keep it all secured in there. Try and not use the word secure anymore in this video, but I think it was justifiably used multiple times. And then lastly, I can point out the couple things. We've got if you don't want to throw it over your shoulder just yet, you want to just pick it up by the handle. If you're moving it from one place on the floor to another, you can just use this grab handle here. We've got options. And finally, we've got the kind of mesh side pocket that's pretty substantial. This is a pretty thin water bottle. I could tell that my bigger Yeti water bottle would fit in here quite easily, which is nice to see that there's some flexibility. And the other side pocket is the same design, same mesh design. So there you go. We had a chance to look through the 305Squash backpack, part of their luggage collection, as they say in the UK. And And that's it. Hope you enjoyed that tour. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe. See you. Bye.